Bonjour. This video is the third video in a series of 3 on the passé composé, which is the past tense in French. And this video covers the passé composé when être is used as the helper verb. My other 2 videos show the regular and the irregular verbs that use avoir as the helping verb, and this one is être. So again, the helping verb is être. That's the big deal here. You're, I'm sure, wondering, how do I know when I want to say something in the past tense in French if I should use être or avoir as my helper verb? And how you know is there's a list of approximately 18 verbs that use être in the passé composé. And if it's not one of those 18 verbs, then you use avoir. And so I have a few different tricks to help people remember, help my students remember the 18 verbs. So one is an acronym, and it's been used forever. I remember learning it myself when I was in French in high school. And the acronym is Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, which, as you see my verbs going down the side here, you'll see how it forms that acronym. Okay, and so obviously each letter stands for a verb. So our first verb is descendre, which is to descend. Descendre, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Then the first R is for retourner, which means to return. Then the next verb is monter, which is to go up or to ascend, the opposite of descendre. Next verb is rester, to stay. The next verb is sortir, to go out. So you can already see the doctor and the Mrs. V is venir, to come. The A is for aller, to go. Naître is a strange one, to be born. Devenir, notice it's a cousin of venir, which is to become, and it's only in this group because it has venir at the end of it. Entrer is our next one, to enter. Then we've got rentrer, which is simply to re-enter. They're cousins, if you will. Next we've got tomber, to fall. Revenir, to come back or to recome. Arriver, to arrive. Next we've got mourir, to die. Partir, to leave. And then finally passer par, which is to pass by. So that's the list. That's the Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. A few of these verbs, most of them just conjugate normally. The ER, you take off the ER and add the E with the accent aigu on it. But a few of them have irregular past participles. So for example, mourir, the past participle is mort. For venir, it is venu. For naître, it's né. So for devenir, since it's a cousin, it's just devenu. And for revenir, since it's another cousin, it's revenu. Now how this verb conjugates, if you'll over here maybe draw a little grid that we're used to with 1 line down and 2 lines across. Let's conjugate the verb aller in the passé composé to say like I went, you went, he went. So again, you're using être as your helping verb. So you're going to have je suis, because we're using être, je suis allée. And then if you're a girl, you're going to need another E. For to, it's tu es allée. And if you're talking to a girl, you're going to need another E. For il and elle, allée, it's just il est allée, elle est allée. We know she's a girl, so there is an extra E there. Over here, for nous sommes allés. And if it's all girls talking, they would have an E there, but you do have the S because it's plural. Vous êtes allé. This one can be, you can be talking to one person or a group, so the E's and the S's, it just depends on who you're talking to. And finally, ils sont allés must have an S on the end. Elles sont allées must have an ES on the end. And then real quickly, here's a few examples of the regular. Elle est née, this means she was born. Ils sont morts, this means they died. Elles sont venues, this means they came, the girls came. And so notice even on these irregulars, you still just add the E's and the S's if necessary. Here is another way to remember those 18 verbs that need to use être in the passé composé. I have this little picture called la maison d'être, and just means the house of être. And all these verbs, as you can see, kind of fits easily in a basic model of a house. So I usually explain to my students that these verbs are a lot of coming and going, usually a lot of that. So, for example, to come to the house, on peut arriver à la maison, you can arrive at the house. Aller à la maison, entrer à la maison, to enter the house. Venir à la maison, to come to the house. And so again, these in the past would be je suis venu à la maison, je suis entré à la maison, je suis allé à la maison, je suis arrivé à la maison. And then in the house, you could have monter, je suis monté les escaliers, I went up the stairs. Je suis descendu les escaliers, I descended the stairs. Or je suis tombé sur les escaliers, I fell down the stairs. On peut rester, rester means to stay, it's a false cognate. So je suis resté au rez-de-chaussée, I stayed on the first floor. Then you could also have, these are the odd mans out, if you will. These aren't coming and going verbs, these three here. So naître, again, to be born. So I always tell them, like, you know, there's always a nursery in a home, usually when there's babies, children present. So again, this would be je suis né. And then devenir, to become. So je suis devenu un médecin, like I became a doctor, I became an adult, je suis devenu un adulte. And then mourir, to die. You know, some people die at home too. Je suis morte à la maison, I died at the house. Then to leave the house, sortir, to go out, and partir, to leave. Je suis sorti de la maison, je suis parti de la maison. And then you could also leave the house, you know, go run some errands, whatever, and then come back to the house. So these three, retourner, to return, rentrer, to re-enter, and revenir, to come back. Je suis retourné à la maison, je suis rentré à la maison, je suis revenu à la maison. And the last one, instead of going in the house at all, on peut passer par la maison. You can just pass by the house. So, je suis passé par la maison. So anyways, that is the house of être, another way to remember those 18 verbs. And one last way to remember those verbs that use être in the passé composé is with this song that has been around for so long. I learned it when I was in French 2 learning French. It goes to the tune of 10 Little Indians, and there's also hand gestures, which you won't see me do, but you'll see them on the paper here. I will sing it just once through for you, and if you're one of my students, then you will know the hand movements. Okay, so here it goes. It goes like this. Arriver, aller, revenir, devenir, partir, sortir, entrer, rentrer, passer par, rester, monter, tomber, venir, descendre, naître, mourir, et retourner. So that is the song. That is one more way to work on remembering those verbs that use être in the passé composé. And I hope that you found this video helpful, and feel free to leave any comments below. Thank you.